Let's set those Week 15 lineups next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers here with Heath Cummings. We're going to help you set your lineups for the fantasy football playoffs. And we will start with the Thursday night game, which has some pretty tough calls. We've got, obviously the 49ers playing without Deebo Samuel for the next couple of weeks. No Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously. But on the other side of that game, we've got some really tough calls, specifically with Seattle Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker. He missed last week's game with an ankle injury. Not listed on the injury report this week, so he's good to go, but he's got arguably the toughest matchup in the league against the 49ers. So how are you viewing Kenneth Walker right now? And remember, he's been kind of mediocre for a little while. His efficiency has taken a big hit. We haven't seen those big plays lately. So how are you viewing him?
He's a high-end number 3 running back, a high-end flex. It's a terrible matchup. It's hard to sit. He's kind of like Gabe Davis. It's really hard to sit him because he could score 12 fantasy points in one play. He's done it several times this season. He has that big playability, and if he's really, truly fine, then I would expect him to see 15-plus touches, but the matchup's awful. I expect it to be a low-scoring game.
Let's compare him to some of the running backs that I have ranked in the same range, see who you would start. Kenneth Walker or Alvin Kamara?
Definitely Alvin Kamara by a pretty good margin.
I wish I could feel as confident as you do, but the usage for Alvin Kamara has been – I have Kamara ranked higher as well, but – it's just been frustrating lately. Hopefully coming out of the bye will be a little better. Kenneth Walker or Najee Harris?
Not as enthusiastically, but I will start Najee over Kenneth Walker. I think they're back-to-back.
Kenneth Walker or either Tampa Bay running back?
I will go Rachaad White, then Kenneth Walker, then Leonard Fournette.
All right, let's move on to the quarterback position where, you've got a tough call with Geno Smith on Thursday night, but I've got him as a top 12 quarterback. I would imagine you do as well.
Yep.
Would you start Tua Tagovailoa or Geno Smith?
I will go with Tua. Tua's a top 10 guy. Geno's a top 12 guy. I think projections-wise, I might actually have Geno ahead of Tua, but I'm way more scared of the 49ers defense than I am the Bills.
What about Tua versus any of these three guys? Deshaun Watson, Mike White, or Derek Carr?
I will start Tua over all of them. White is also a top 12 quarterback for me. I've not seen enough from Watson to feel comfortable with him against the Baltimore Ravens, and Derek Carr is outside of my top 18.
Geno Smith versus those guys?
Geno ahead of all of them.
Okay, let's move on to wide receiver, and we'll talk about Brandon Ayuk, another Thursday night guy. We've got no Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk obviously figures to kind of step up a little bit, but I don't know if there's going to be a ton of pass volume there. So where do you have him ranked?
Number 3 wide receiver, right around wide receiver 30. I think there's a possibility he could earn a 25% target share and still see 6 targets. And 6 targets from Brock Purdy might be 4 for 50. If he scores a touchdown, he'll be fine. If he doesn't, he's probably going to be a disappointment.
Brandon Ayuk or Mike Williams?
Mike Williams.
Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper's at home, so everything should be fine. We should have no reason for concern. I'll go with Amari Cooper.
I know you don't actually believe that the home road thing matters, right?
I don't understand the home road thing. It has extended long enough in his career that I wonder if he has some problem with flying or if he's one of those people that jet lag greatly affects him or something. But this is not a one-year thing, and this year it's been remarkable. I don't actually believe it. I'm not like last week I did have him projected as a top 12 wide receiver, and I dropped his ranking down to 20 because he was on the road.
What about Brandon Ayuk versus Deontay Johnson?
I will go with Ayuk because I think he has more upside, but they are right in the same range.
And we have no idea who's going to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers as of Wednesday afternoon.
But I think
we had
Trubisky might be the best. Trubisky might be the best case scenario.
Yeah, he's been more productive with Trubisky. Kenny Pickett was limited on Wednesday, but Trubisky and Mason Rudolph split first team reps at practice on Wednesday. So wide open there. And Jalen Waddle, how do you rank him relative to the rest of those guys?
I've got Waddle as a number 2 wide receiver, so he's ahead of all of those guys, just barely ahead of Mike Williams, but 10 spots ahead of other guys.
And then at tight end, Pat Freiermuth looked like he was really going to be breaking out, but over the last 3 games, he has 3 catches in each game. Hasn't been the guy that we hoped he would be. Where do you rank him relative to this trio? Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and Greg Dulcich. Why don't you rank those 4?
It is Ingram, Freiermuth, Dulcich are all top 12 tight ends for me. Everett just outside of my top 12.
All right, that's going to do it for FFT in 5. We'll have more start-sit calls and a Thursday Night Football recap for you tomorrow. We'll see you then.